Election deniers, racists, conspiracy theorists, liars. Did I leave anything out? We, the people of Bucks County, are fed up. Yes, you're hearing us loud and clear.
These are elected officials who openly and blatantly admitted to disobeying the law. How could we ever have faith in their ability to uphold the law again? The answer is we cannot, and they must resign immediately.
I've got to tell you, standing here today, listening to all these patriots and looking at how many people came out, something's wrong with the way we're conducting the elections in this county.
Name-calling an outrage in Pennsylvania. Enraged voters there at a wild meeting in Bucks County voicing their anger, condemning Democrat election officials who voted to count illegal ballots in the state's hotly contested Senate race. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Sandra Smith, and Bill and Dana have the day off. Jillian, great to be with you.
It's great to be with you, Sandra. We're very happy that you made it all in one piece.
Every morning's a battle, Jillian.
Your tale. I'm Jillian Turner. So the Pennsylvania recount is moving ahead, moving forward. Republican Dave McCormick is maintaining his lead. Incumbent Democrat Bob Casey not conceding just yet. And with that recount underway, Bucks County officials say they will now comply with a state Supreme Court order to throw out illegal ballots. This after a county commissioner said this a few days ago. Listen.
I think we all know that precedent by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country, and people violate laws anytime they want. So for me, if I violate this law, it's because I want a court to pay attention to it. And there is nothing more important than counting votes.
Nate Foy has more out of our newsroom on that. Hi, Nate.
Hey, Sandra. Bucks County Commissioner Diane Ellis Marseglia apologized yesterday. She claimed her comments that you just heard were taken out of context and that she meant to refer to provisional ballots rather than the mail-in ballots that the state Supreme Court already ruled on.
It was genuinely not the best words. I would do it all again. I feel terrible about it. I should have been more clear. I will be more clear in the future.
But Bucks County residents heard the commissioner say that she would break state law and count ineligible votes. Then when she tried connecting her comments to abortion rights, the crowd was not having it.
When I inartfully spoke and used the word precedent when I was talking about provisional ballots, I was referring to the United States Supreme Court and the precedent that has been lost on many issues, including Roe versus Wade.
Those boos were only the beginning. At yesterday's meeting, people accused their commissioners of cheating in the election and targeting conservatives. One man even referenced President Biden's comment calling Trump supporters garbage. Listen to this.
Do you need to resign today? You need to be fired. We are your boss. You are a bane, a stain on this country. The world is watching.
Compared to all of you, being called garbage doesn't seem to be so bad.
Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, city commissioners said they would follow, but disagreed with the state Supreme Court ruling to only count mail-in ballots that are dated correctly.
We know mail ballots that we get in time, and we know the mail ballots that we don't get in time. And therefore, I believe, in my opinion, that ballot should count.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro reminded all election officials this week to follow state law. While 3 counties have already finished their recount, Senator-elect Dave McCormick and Senator Bob Casey each gained a single vote. Some counties are still completing their initial count because of legal challenges to provisional ballots. Senator Casey is asking for more than 1,200 ballots to count across 9 different lawsuits, while McCormick wants thousands of votes removed from the count, but that still hasn't been ruled on by Pennsylvania courts.
Wow, that is a lot. Nate Foy, thank you. Jillian.
You got it.
Quite a story. Joining us for more is Bucks County Republican Committee Chair Pat Poprick. Pat, thanks so much for taking time with us today. Let's play a quick clip, a little bit more of what Commissioner Marseglia said in that apology. I want to get your reaction.
Last Thursday, when I spoke at the meeting that you're all here about, the passion in my heart got the best of me, and I apologize again for that.
Do you think it was passion in her heart that also led her, Pat, to say that court orders in America are meaningless?
I can't really speak for her intent. I only know that what she said was so offensive to so many of us. Absolutely, you have to follow the law in this country. even if you don't like it. And that was her premise, that she didn't like it, therefore she would not follow it. So her apology was accepted by the people, but not believed that the sincerity was there.
You really think the apology was accepted?
Some people definitely did. Some people even mentioned it. Some of the speakers said that. But for the most part, the majority just felt that this was a way to try to calm down the masses, because there were a lot of people. There was an overflow room packed. The room that you could see on the camera was packed. There was a lot of people very unhappy with her.
Take a listen to this. Meanwhile, this is some pushback from the other side. Democrat Josh Shapiro weighing in on everything that just went down. Listen.
I would note, by the way, that Dave McCormick, when he was a failed candidate for Senate 2 years ago, also chose not to waive the recount in that race. That'll continue to play out. And the most important thing is that the will of the people be respected, that all the votes are counted, and that ultimately a winner is determined based on the will of the people.
What's your reaction specifically, Pat, to his comment that Dave McCormick's campaign team last time around made the same exact decision that Senator Casey's team is making now?
That's not my understanding. I was told they did not. So I don't know where he's getting that. I don't recall a recount. The state
false information. Josh Shapiro was spitting out his mouth.
I have heard people say, including Dave, that he did not do that. So I'd have to check further. That's the first I'm hearing the governor say anything about it. He was
quick to change the narrative. That's what Democrats do.
He waited until the Supremes came.
Quick to change the narrative.
Ruling to say, oh yes, you have to follow the law.
What would you like to see the governor do or say now to try and, I don't know, if it's possible to sort of smooth over the situation now? A lot of damage has already been done, but presumably we'll get the results of the recount soon, and this will be put to bed. What would you like to hear him say?
I wish he said earlier that he support the Supremes. Everyone knows the law is the law. And
right.
When they first did these four counties, his comment was, well, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. Then after the hoopla and the Supremes came out again, he then became on the side of the law, and that's what I'd like him to do. Be with the law, not his opinion.
Right.
Here's an editorial quote from the National Review. They say, today, Bob Casey Jr. remains in the race. He now stakes his hopes on a statewide recount likely to flip fewer than 100 votes, if that, from one column to another. In doing so, he's humiliating his own party by shamelessly inverting and thereby vitiating arguments they've lodged against others who refuse to accept legitimate electoral outcomes. Do you agree with that?
Well, to some degree. This is a large number we're talking about. It's up to, I think, 17,000 or something, the last I heard. That's very difficult to get on a recount, and I think people have seen this in the past. On the recounts that have occurred, it's de minimis change, and it's not, to my understanding, changed any election ever. So therefore, it's almost like a stop beating a dead horse here. At some point, you have to say, okay, I lost, let's move on. And he has not done that yet.
Yeah, we've had other Republican electoral analysis on who say even if every single one of those 16 or 17,000 votes actually went to Senator Casey, he still wouldn't come out on top. So it all doesn't matter anyway. Right. Pat, we got to leave it there, but great to hear from you today. Thank you for taking time with us.